What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Powered by Primus. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about more Wave 2 spoiled cards, going more in depth about those cards, and let's get to the first one that I'm particularly excited to talk about. So this card and the next few that we're going to talk about were all originally spoiled on Wossy Plays channel as a fellow YouTuber. It is a great channel. I would advise you guys check it out. I will link that down in the description below. But the first card that we're going to talk about is Megatron Arrogant Ruler. I'm happy to be seeing another Megatron, especially meaning that there's going to be opportunities later on for more Optimus Primes, more Bumblebees, and etc. So the first thing I want to look at is that it is a leader and it is ranged while in both robot mode and in tank mode, which will be its alt mode as well. So that means that we're going to have another tank to be able to mess around with our tank decks, so on and so forth. However, I do have to say that I think that I like the original Decepticon leader better in that original tank deck, but we will talk about that more later on. However, the part that does super excite me is going to be this card's abilities. But before we get into its abilities, let's talk about its stats. In its robot mode, it has 4 attack, 14 health, and 2 armor. While it's in its alt mode, it has 3 attack and 3 armor. All of those stats I am actually pretty happy with. Now, its first ability, which in robot mode, says when this attacks, you may scrap an upgrade from your hand. If you do, draw 2 cards. I think this ability is going to be super awesome, especially in upgrade heavy decks. I will tell you that I'm specifically looking to pair this card with Megatron Living Weapon. I think that the combination between the two is going to be really awesome. You're going to be able to attack with this character, scrap in a weapon from your hand, draw 2 cards, and then you'll be able to flip Living Weapon for the turn and be able to pull that weapon back from the scrap pile to your hand, allowing for just a bunch of cycling. But if we're also going to be talking about cycling, let's talk about Jetfire. I think it'll be really fun to have this Megatron attack, be able to scrap that upgrade from your hand, draw 2, and then the next turn you'll be able to flip Jetfire, hoping that you scrapped an armor or a utility, and be able to put that directly on Jetfire, giving you that ability to play that upgrade for free. Now let's talk about its alt mode or its tank mode. I think that the tank is going to be really cool, especially trying some new pairings out to see if some new teams are going to be able to pop up and be really well with it, but especially for its ability. It says when you flip to this mode, you get to play an upgrade. I think that this ability is extremely powerful, and it's the main reason why I want to run it with a Living Weapon. Living Weapon for me has always been just a little slow, especially being able to play 1 weapon a turn. Now granted, there are cards such as New Design which allow you to play an additional upgrade for the turn, which does help out a little bit, but it becomes a very conditional card, and sometimes late game can be really sloppy, so on and so forth. But this character allows me to finally build the deck that I really want to really try to highlight Living Weapon. Living Weapon has always had this great ability where you're allowed to have a weapon in each of its slots, including putting 1 in its armor and 1 in its utility, meaning you can have a total of 3 weapons on the character. And I feel it has a lot of great synergy, especially with cards such as Grenade Launcher, that when you attack, you get to scrap the card. You can then flip Megatron and be able to pull those weapons back, especially if you flip them and now they're in your scrap pile. The really cool part is that with this Megatron, it's also a tank. So what you can do is have it in bot mode and be able to play cards such as Hunker Down, which allow you to flip it into its tank mode, upgrade it with an armor if it's not already upgraded, and then you still get the proc off of the flipping it to a tank, which allows you to play an upgrade. Now with being to play that upgrade is you can now play a second upgrade for the turn, maybe putting 2 weapons on Living Weapon, and then really being able to utilize Living Weapon to its fullest. Not to mention if you happen to run out of cards in your hand, again, attacking with this Megatron allows you to scrap one of those weapons that you maybe already have 1 out of and be able to draw 2 more additional cards, getting more upgrades. Now the next thing I want to talk about, which again I think is going to be super awesome and pairs really well, is going to be the next card that we're going to spoil. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the star system again. Because this Megatron is going to be sitting at 10 stars and Living Weapon is going to be sitting at 13 stars, means that we're allowed 2 more stars in our deck. Which means, let's take us to the next card, which is a weapon and is also 1 star. The next card is Mounted Missile. It is 2 orange battle icons, it is a weapon, and it does cost 1 star. Now remember, there are a total of 7 cards coming out in Wave 2 that are gonna cost 1 star. This is the second one that has been revealed. This card does say that this can be placed in an armor or a utility slot. It does give your character +2 attack, and again, it is 2 orange battle icons. Specifically for this team, I've been talking about Megatron Arrogant Leader and Megatron Living Weapon, is that we're going to be able to put 2 of these into the deck. So we're going to be able to flip this, get 2 orange battle icons, which is going to be great. It's going to give 2 attack, but also it is a weapon, so we're going to be able to bring it back with the Living Weapon, and then we're also going to be able to play it on any single slot that we want. So that means that Megatron Arrogant Leader can have up to 3 of these equipped to himself, or Living Weapon can have 3 of these equipped to himself as well, and flipping again into that tank mode on Arrogant Leader is going to allow us to be able to play this card for free. Now, talking about just how powerful this card is going to be all by itself is that, again, it is 2 orange battle icons. I can tell you right now there are quite a bit of decks that are already trying to find ways to put this into, such as the Insecticons and a couple of that I've been working on, because it is that double orange battle icon. So flipping it when attacking means you're going to be getting 2 more damage. That by itself is already really powerful. If we look at some of our other double orange battle icon cards right now, such as Peace Through Tyranny and Improvised Shield, those get tons and tons of play. But with this being a weapon means that you're going to be able to play it and get 2 attack on a character, which again is really powerful. So you're either getting 2 attack when you're flipping it, or you're getting 2 attack when you're playing it. So there's really no downside whether it's in your hand or it's on top of your deck. In addition to that, it says that this can be played in an armor and a utility slot, meaning if you already have a weapon slot taken care of, such as you have an Energon Axe or even have something as powerful as a grenade launcher equipped, that you can still put this on that character, still getting that +2 attack. You can even go down the crazier side, and let's say you have 3 stars available in your deck and you have 3 of these, that you can put 3 of them on one character, giving your character a total of +6 attack. It is extremely powerful, and again, this card is going to see lots and lots of play. The next card we're going to be showing off is going to be Field Communicator. Field Communicator is a white battle icon card. It is an upgrade utility, and it does give +1. But if you do play this on a specialist, you get to scrap the top card of your deck, and then you may play that card. The benefit behind this is that it doesn't matter what the card on top is, such as another upgrade or an action card, you get to play that card for free, which is always a really powerful effect. I can already tell you that I have plans to put this into my Shockwave deck, seeing as how it's a white battle icon, and it is a specialist, allowing me to putting it onto Shockwave himself and getting to play the top card for free. There are many other characters as well that are going to be able to utilize this, such as Sludge in both modes. You have Prowl and Wheeljack while in their car mode, and then you have all 3 motorcycle characters, such as RC, Chromia, and Flame War, who are all specialists who will be able to use this as well. Another fun interaction that I'm looking to try is going to be using Incoming Transmission to put a card on top of my deck. Now what you could do is for your action for the turn, play the Incoming Transmission and stack your deck to either play an additional action or even an additional upgrade by playing the Field Communicator. If you're running a Cars deck, it'd be really cool to be able to put like a Start Your Engines on top or a Turbo Boosters, and then being able to play that card for free, allowing you 2 actions in a turn or 2 upgrades in a turn. The next card I want to talk about is a card that was spoiled by Wreck and Rule, another great YouTube channel that I would highly recommend you guys going to check out. I will link them in the description as well. But the next card is Reckless Charge. Reckless Charge has an orange battle icon. It is an action card and says one of your characters gets +4 attack until the end of the turn. At the end of the turn, you deal 3 damage to it. So the first thing I want to talk about is what is really going to be able to maximize using this card. And as of right now, taking 3 damage to a character sounds like a lot, but really, life in this game or health in this game is really just another resource, and dealing 3 damage to a character is really not that bad. What we can do is we can improve the Insecticon deck even further by playing this on Ransack and putting some early damage on Ransack and then giving it 4 more damage. The next thing you can do by maximizing this card is by playing it on a character that can get multiple attacks in a turn. We've done many fun tricks with Leap into Battle, which gives +3 till end of turn, so +4 till end of turn would work the exact same way. And the card that I'm specifically looking at would be Mirage. We have a pretty fun card deck that we're going to be showing on the channel here soon, which would really benefit from this because Mirage gets to attack twice in a turn as long as your opponent is tapped down. The next card that's going to really benefit from this, and I hate to say is only going to get better, is Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend. Optimus Prime says that after you flip battle cards for this character's attack and before the defense flips, you get to play one additional action. So if this is one of the cards that gets revealed, Optimus Prime is still going to get the one attack from the orange battle icon, but then it's going to be able to play this and get 4 additional attack, meaning that it's going to have 5 additional attack with this card showing. If you've played it all with Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend and flipped a Leap into Battle, you know how powerful that is, and this gives +2 more attack on top of it. Not to mention it doesn't really hurt Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend taking the 3 damage. The next card that we're going to be showing off is Focus Fire. Focus Fire is an orange and a green battle icon. If you didn't see our previous video where we describe what green battle icons do, is essentially is it acts as a cycle. When you do flip this card while attacking or defending, you may discard a card from your hand and then place this card into your hand. It is an action card, and it says for each Focus Fire you've played this turn, one of your character gets bold 1 until the end of the turn. You may also play another Focus Fire, meaning if you have 2 of these in your hand, you play the first Focus Fire, you get to choose which character gets bold 1, and then you may play the second one from your hand, and then you can choose an additional character to give bold 1, or you can give the same character bold 1. That character would then have bold 2. Same thing goes if you were to play all 3, you can give 3 different characters bold 1 if you do have 3 characters on your team, or you can give 1 character bold 3. I think this card is actually pretty powerful, and the fact that it has a green battle icon means that you're going to have more chances to play multiples in its succession, and I think that is going to be really powerful. The next card we're going to be showing off is another green battle icon card. Again, if you flip it while attacking or defending, you can scrap one from your hand and put this into your hand. And it's called Enemy Combat Analysis. It is an upgrade utility, and it says while the upgraded character is battling an enemy that has the same number of stars as it, the upgraded character has +2 attack and +2 armor. I think that this card is actually really powerful, assuming that you're going to be going up against other characters that do share the same number of stars, seeing as how if they don't, this card is actually completely dead. But just imagine if you do happen to attack a tapped character and they have the same stars, you're getting +2 attack. The same thing goes if you happen to have this character that's upgraded tapped and your opponent has attack with the same stars, you are automatically given the +2 armor, which is why I say that if you are coming across a lot of the same star count cards, that this card is going to be really, really powerful. One of the best uses of this card is gonna be in a combiner deck. The reason why I say that is because we've confirmed that there are 6 combiners coming to Wave 2. If we just look at Predaking as an example, all 5 of those characters that create Predaking are all 5 stars, which equal out to be a total of 25. Now, if all 6 of the combiners happen to follow that same rule, we're going to be looking at 30 characters in Wave 2 just from the combiners that are 5 stars. We also do have 2 5-star characters from Wave 1, seeing as how we have Arcee and we have Flame War. So there's a total of 32 characters that are going to be around, especially seeing as how combiners are the whole point of this Wave 2 set. There's probably going to be a lot of combiner versus combiner matches. And if that's the case, this card will match the 5 stars on one of your combiner characters with the combiner characters from your opponent, meaning you're going to be guaranteed that +2 attack and +2 defense almost every single attack, and that will make this card really, really powerful. The next card was spoiled by vectorsigma.info. It's a great website if you'd like to go and read more articles about Transformers TCG and better your game. I will link them in the description as well. The card is Decepticon Venon, and it is an Insecticon tyrant, and it is the leader of the Insecticons. And I'm extremely happy that we have a new big baddie Insecticon that's going to allow us to really start to mix up that team. If we look at it in its bot mode, it has 6 attack, 12 health, and 1 armor, and it says, while your opponent has no cards in their hand, each of your Insecticons has Pierce 3. If we flip over into its alt mode, it has 4 attack and 2 armor. It's ranged in both modes, which is really cool, and it says, well, in its alt mode, when this or one of your other Insecticons is KO'd, your opponent chooses 2 cards from your hand and scraps them. I absolutely love the synergy that is with this card, and it's honestly probably one of my favorite design cards just because of all the utility that it has with it, not just with its abilities, but with other Insecticons. The cool part is, again, while it's in its alt mode and one of your Insecticons is KO'd, your opponent has to choose 2 cards and scrap them. So let's look at some of the other cards that could really benefit this. You could use one of Scrapnel's abilities to KO one of your own Insecticons and tap one of your opponent's characters, and then they have to scrap 2 cards as well. The next thing that I think is really powerful with this is just how often the Insecticons are usually being KO'd. The reason by running a 4 stack with them is that they usually do die, but we get this really cool card that's going to combo well with this, and that's I-Stealth Function. With playing I-Stealth Function, you get to bring back one of your KO'd characters, they get to attack for the turn, and then it says to KO it. So when it gets KO'd, you again get to use this card's ability if you're in its alt mode, making your opponent scrap 2 more cards. When all is said and done and your opponent now has no cards in their hand, you flip over back into its bot mode, and it says that all of your Insecticons now have Pierce 3. The benefit behind this also is that it's not just till end of turn, it's for as long as your opponent doesn't have cards in their hand. So you get to attack for sure this turn with Pierce 3, and your opponent's going to have to obviously draw at the start of their turn. Now they have to decide whether or not they want or need to play that card, or if it's more beneficial for them actually to hold it just to stop you from having that Pierce with all of your characters, and that again makes this other side really powerful. Plus, it has 6 attack, and seeing as how all Insecticon decks are hyper or heavy orange, means that this character is going to be hitting for a lot of damage. The next character we're going to be talking about is Autobot Novastar. Now, this character has so much wrapped up into one thing, so there's going to be a lot to talk about. But I am extremely excited about this card. For the first thing that we're going to talk about is if you check it out in its bot mode, she has ranged. But if you flip it over into her alt mode, it is not just a car, but it is also a truck and also a melee character. It's absolutely crazy the utility that we're going to be able to have with this character, seeing as how it has range, melee, truck, and car. Any of those cards that are out right now and any cards that are coming out in Wave 2 are going to make this character extreme. Now, before we get into the abilities, we're going to talk about its stats. While she is in her bot mode, she has 7 attack, which is pretty powerful, rivaling Nemesis Prime, has 13 health and 2 armor. If you flip over into her alt mode, she has 6 attack, which is still rivals Nemesis, and has 3 armor. The big thing and a lot of the controversy that's behind this card right now is the fact that she is a vanilla, meaning that she has no abilities, and that she is a 12-star character, which I will admit is a lot. But I'm going to explain to you guys why I think this character is extremely powerful and why I understand its 12 stars. Yes, if you look at Nemesis Prime, which is also 12 stars, and in my opinion obviously has way better abilities, seeing as it actually has abilities, and rivals the same stats but has 16 health, that would make Nemesis Prime your target if you were really trying to fill in that 12-star count. But again, the utility of Novastar is where she's really going to shine. You're going to be able to play pretty much any cards that you really are wanting to play, seeing as how she has the melee and ranged again. So there's tons and tons of cards that target those specific abilities that you can both play on her. The next thing that I want to talk about when it comes to her utility is the fact that she is a car and a truck. With her being a car, you can play things such as turbo, booster, start your engines, etc. to really get to maximize her. But you can also still play cargo trailers on her, seeing as how she is a truck. But let's talk about team-up tactics. There was a really funny thing that happened in the FAQ where someone asked about how it would work if there was both a car and truck, and they were like, that's not a real question. But then we started to think, were they trolling us? And the answer was yes, seeing as how we now have her in front of us. We also have an answer on how it would work. You would get to both draw 2 cards and heal 2 from her, seeing as how she is a car and truck. The next thing that I want to talk about her that I feel like she's really going to be a great card in is not necessarily constructed, but is going to be in sealed in draft. Now I know I just blew your mind, seeing as how most people really haven't been talking about it, but the fact that she's a common means that she's going to be going around the table more often and that you're going to have a higher chance to pull her. Now, the one benefit to it that I would talk about specifically is that when you're also opening those packs and you're drafting, you have to choose if you want to pass on certain cards or build around certain cards. Because she's a ranged, because she's a melee, because she's a car, and because she's a truck, a lot of cards that you're going to be opening / passing around are going to be able to benefit her. One thing that really sucks when it comes to drafting and sealing is opening up a really good card, especially in this game where you're trying to get a utility and you just don't have a character to put it on. Or vice versa, you get a really good character that you want to build around, but you don't get any of those utilities to maximize that character. With Novastar, no matter what you're going to be opening or going to be passing around the table, there's a really good chance that it's going to be able to benefit her. Not to mention, she does hit for 7 in robot mode, and she does hit for 6 while in car truck mode, so she's going to be dealing lots and lots of damage. Again, she's also a common, which means that you're going to have a way higher chance of coming across her versus coming across a Nemesis Prime in that same 12-star count, meaning that you're just going to have more utility and she's going to be that much of a better card. And when it comes to sealed and draft, I'm definitely going to be trying to pull Nova. So there you guys have it. There is an update on all the new stuff Wave 2. I really hope that they don't spoil everything for Wave 2, although I do hope that we get an exclusive to be able to show you guys on the channel, because I feel like that would be really awesome. But I would still love to get that opening up a pack, seeing a new card feel, especially with all of the box openings that we plan on doing on the channel, and believe me, it's gonna be a lot. So if you are new to the channel, subscribe for more so you guys can see all these videos when they pop up, and we will catch you guys in the next one.